Hello, good morning.
Would you butter a couple of rolls for me there, please?
I could try the peanut butter.
What kind of gum you chewing?
My breath stinks.
Excuse me?
Fly by night, go away from here.
30 days until opening day, which is why we showed you the likes of Jason Mott and Magglio Ordonez and King Griffey Jr. and Nolan Ryan. Spring Daydreaming bring us to our friend Keith Costas. I'm going to actually be in Fort Myers a week from today. So as usual, the research department doing all the work for me. Keith, let me know, what should I look forward to next week in Boston?
So it's been a little bit of a rocky offseason in Boston from the fans' perspective, I guess, but they did bring back Theo Epstein. Obviously, he'll have a big hand in what they do going forward. Alex Cora in a contract year. They're coming off 2 back-to-back last-place finishes, but 78 wins in both seasons, so all things not created equal. That would have been second in the American League Central. They are, however, predicted to finish in last place again in the American League East. But let's take an optimistic view here. We'll focus on the lineup, starting with Tristan Casas and the finish that he had down the stretch last season. You take a look at guys who had a 400 on base and a 600-plus slugging percentage after the break. I'd say this is pretty good company. The unanimous NL MVP, the unanimous AL MVP, and the major league leader in home runs and RBIs. I actually think that Olson's a pretty good comp here, guys. You know, they're talking about 6'5", left-handed slugging first baseman, both first-rounders, both came from powerhouse high school programs, Olson in Parkview down in Atlanta, Casas, American Heritage down in Florida. So kind of similar career trajectories and similar kind of players, too. I don't think it's a stretch to say Casas could be one of the best power hitters in the game in 2024. Now, same type of stats. Let's take a look at Red Sox history. This is basically the who's who of the franchise in terms of 400, 600 in the second half of the season. All legends on the left side, no flukes on the right side either. You got 2 MVPs in Fred Lynn and Mo Vaughn. If you're really into the Hall of Fame stuff, you know there's actually a sort of niche case to be made for Dwight Evans, JD Martinez. That was 2018 when they won a World Series. So pretty good company here. If you wanted to do the same exercise with the first half of the season, you'd get different names, but the same principle. No flukes in the company that Tristan Casas is keeping. Now, Masataka Yoshida, he went in the other direction as the season wore on last year. You take a look at what he did in Japan and then the first half of last year versus the second half of last year. Before the break, 27 walks and 36 strikeouts for that 382 on base percentage. After the break, just 7 walks and 45 strikeouts, on base percentage cratered by more than 100. That was easily the largest drop in the game. Now, what about what they're adding from the outside? Tyler O'Neill, a guy I saw plenty in St. Louis. He had the one great season in 2021 where he was a top 10 MVP guy. He had the second highest WAR among outfielders that year behind Juan Soto. But the rest of his career has been a struggle to stay on the field, and honestly, the production has not been that great outside of 2021. Gets a fresh start in Boston. We know he had a little bit of a dust-up with Ali Marmol early in the season last year. He got benched for what was perceived as a lack of hustle. There's a couple different schools of thoughts on that, but a fresh start in a contract year for O'Neill is an intriguing situation, to say the least. And then moving over to the infield, the Red Sox have had 38 different players, guys, play second base since Dustin Pedroia's last full season. That's the most of any team at any position on the infield over that span of time. So what do? They go out and get Vaughn Grissom, who actually debuted in Fenway, and if you'll recall, hit a home run in his major league debut. So getting back to some friendly confines here where everything got started. We know last offseason he spent time working with Ron Washington in anticipation of being the Braves shortstop. Did not play out that way, ended up playing mostly second in what major league time. He did say that will be the case for him again in Boston. You take a look, basically flipping positions, minor leagues versus major leagues so far in his career. So guys, that's the lineup. We know the question with the Red Sox is the pitching. Is there a move out there that still makes sense for them? Do we think there's a chance that they can improve on those back-to-back last place finishes? Where do we come down with the 2024 Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, I love the lineup. I mean, when you dig into Tristan Casas, I think he's a huge piece, hitting right there, potentially right behind Rafael Devers. When you talk about the top of the lineup, the type of thunder that they can bring, I think that's going to be huge, and I'm excited to see Vaughn Grissom play second base on a day-to-day basis, getting that opportunity with Boston. I think it's going to be huge for them. On the pitching side, I mean, last night we were talking about Jordan Montgomery being a huge potential piece for them to go after. It seems like all the stars are just aligned almost too perfectly. Similar to how Cody Bellinger was aligned too perfectly for the Cubs. You're happy to see that work out. It seems like this is a very similar scenario for the Red Sox to be in, to go out there and get a guy who can be your ace this season while you have other pitchers who are looking to be promising this spring. Giolito, Tanner Houck, they're getting off to a great start in spring. Seems like the velocity has improved to where if you get some improvement from those guys and then bring in one more star, I think you give yourself somewhat of a chance.
Yeah, Brian Bayo, obviously Cutter Crawford, Garrett Whitlock. They got some guys. They still need that ace, like you said.